There is a warning that many of the UK's traditional indoor and street markets may never reopen once this crisis is over. The National Association of British Market Authorities, or NABMA, says more than a third could disappear. Well, David Preston from Oswestry is Chief Executive at NABMA and joins us now. David, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Adam. Yeah, good, thank you. Interested listening to your PE lessons.
Yes. Well, I'm avoiding it this morning. Obviously, that's my excuse. Now, we know some markets in Shropshire are open following social distancing rules, but across the UK, what's the picture? What percentage are still operating?
So at the moment, we've just done a survey of our members because we're talking to government about support that's vitally needed for our industry. So across the country at the moment, there are about 20% of our markets which are open for food and for essential goods. Those markets are experiencing up to a 90% fall in footfall. And the feedback is that unfortunately, when we updated the survey on Friday, it would now seem that probably about 40% are indicating now that they will not return. So that could be 400 markets lost from the UK, retail market network, which is obviously very serious and very critical to us.
40%.
Yeah, 40%. Lots of reasons behind that. First of all, the majority of markets are run by local authorities. It's a discretionary service. They don't have to provide markets. We all know how tough local government finance is. So when a market's been closed for many weeks, then an easy option is to keep it shut, because we know there's going to be additional costs when markets open up, in terms of enforcing social distancing, policing of it. And will the market be able to open fully with social distancing? It may be that some stalls can be open one day, other stalls open another day. And then to try and get traders to come back, authorities, operators are going to have to offer rent incentives as well. So the financial picture is very critical, and it's one of the areas that we're making our representations to government at the moment. So we've seen and we've welcomed support packages, financial packages for market traders. A lot of them will benefit, many of them won't. But the gap is for local authorities, and there is no help and support financially whatsoever at the moment for local authority market operators. So just on average across the country, that's costing some markets about £50,000 a month, and some of the larger operators, that's costing them over £300,000 a month in lost income. So the situation is really serious.
Really serious, as you say there, with those figures. Have any markets found that it's gone the other way and that they maybe have gone online and found businesses improved?
Yeah, and that's the encouraging. There's some light there. A lot of markets are very resilient and traders are resilient. And we've seen some great examples where market operators, they're not charging rents at the moment or giving deferred payment deals, but they're working with their market traders and providing deliveries, click and collect, and moving to online sales. And we've seen some wonderful examples. One was in the northwest, where a group of traders got together. That was fish, meat, and fruit and veg. And in the first 4 weeks, they sent out over 6,000 food boxes. So what we're seeing, I think, is a change in the market industry. A lot of it will be going online as well as face to face. But there have been some great stories out there in such difficult times, and some markets are doing very well. But it's that 80% that's closed at the moment that we're most worried about.
What did you make of what the Prime Minister had to say last night?
Confused, probably like everybody else. No clear message in there for markets. Our take on it is that the current situation remains, that it's food and essentials. We're encouraged by talk of possibility of some retail in June, and it's the representations that we've been making. We've been saying that we would like indoor markets to be considered in the same phase as opening our shopping centres, so that markets have that opportunity. But obviously that's going to be up to each individual operator, whether they can follow the government guidelines and social distancing. Probably with outdoor markets, we see it as a more incremental approach, because the logistics of social distancing on an outdoor market are much more difficult on an indoor market. Indoors, you can control pedestrian flows to a certain extent and the number of entrances and exits, but obviously on the larger outdoor markets, that's much more difficult. But we are gearing up as an organisation. We're putting out guidance. We've prepared a social distancing marketing guide for our members, and we know that our members are ramping themselves up, ready to be open at the first chance they get. It's absolutely critical that markets open because they're such a valuable part of town and city centres across the country. They're big providers and supporters of moving food in the food chain, and they're going to be very much a key to the future of the high street, its renaissance. It's recognised that they're in the top 25 factors for vibrant and vital town centres. They're great for the local economy. They provide activity, events, diversity, traders, and really they have a key role to play now in the revival of the high street after this dreadful pandemic.
David, good to talk to you this morning. Thanks for your time.
No problems. Thanks, Adam.
That is David Preston from Oswestry, as Chief Executive of the National Association of British Market Authorities.